Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Are Zelensky's days numbered? Is Zelensky's presidency over? We're going to discuss this in this video. I have 3 articles here with 3 experts talking about it, and we're going to discuss what could be next for Zelensky after he was kicked out from the White House by the US President Donald Trump for not signing the agreement, the rare earth minerals, and being so disrespectful to the American people, the office of the President of the United States of America, and the President of the United States of America, the US officials. We're going to discuss this, and I will show you why I think his presidency is over. Now, will be Zelensky allowed to stay alive, or pack his bags of, I would say, hundreds of millions and move to Monaco or London or New York or who knows where? He's not going to be remaining in politics. It's going to be hard to think that he's going to be remaining in politics. So let's start with this page coming from the evil Russians, Russia Today. And we have here the first article that I would like to point out to you is this one right here. Zelensky is done. Former CIA analyst, right? And this is John Kiriakou. Okay, that's the first one. Second, we have Scott Ritter. Zelensky's presidency is over. And the other one, I'm going to go to the right here. And we have what the experts, the Russian experts say. The countdown to the end of Zelensky's regime has started. Russian experts, plural, on the Trump talks fiasco. So this is what they say. Well, they are numbered. Well, personally, I think they are numbered because he can't be there forever. So from the very beginning, yes, they are numbered because obviously he has to either be removed, say bye-bye, or die. All right? So there's the first one. What could keep... So let's say US will remove him, or someone is going to remove him. Who could remove Zelensky? United States could remove Zelensky very easily. They can do it, how do you call that? Diplomatically. That means they stop funding the military and they activate their trained, like Budanov and others, trained officers in the Ukrainian military, intelligence apparatus, the guys with guns. So they could all turn around and just arrest, let's say, Zelensky for, let's say, treason. Or he's the illegitimate now president. They will immediately say it's illegitimate. Or even the Rada, the parliament, the lower house of the Ukrainian parliament could tomorrow, yesterday they unanimously supported Zelensky. Tomorrow they can all say, no, we don't like him. Like a vote of no confidence. Like it happened to Mr. Imran Khan of Pakistan, the prime minister, remember? All right, the same. Next day he was out. So the same here. And if Zelensky doesn't want to follow orders, Budanov was trained by CIA. He's the chief of the intelligence. So he has people to come and arrest him. Regardless if Zelensky appointed in the repressive apparatus of Ukraine his boys, those boys will listen to the Americans because I guarantee you Sirski and the guys out there are on America's side, not on Zelensky's side. Why? They pay more. They got more money than Zelensky. So from America can remove him easily, like, as I said, even democratically. They will say tomorrow, you're not legitimate. Vote of no confidence, or simply be people around him. This is the second scenario. People around him, which are his bodyguards, are paid by someone. Who pays the most gets the bodyguards. If you think those are Zelensky's bodyguards, I don't think so. Those guys were over there to make sure that Zelensky does what he said he will do before he was picked and selected to run for the Ukrainian presidency. Those guys are around him and they are protecting him from anybody else interfering with his job. He's busy. He's in his office working. Nobody is allowed to interfere with our boy's work. So those guys could just, take care of him in a bad way. And I'm not supporting that. This is an intellectual conversation, I hope. So we discuss the opportunities, or not opportunities, options, not options, scenarios. What could happen? I don't like the scenarios, but anyway. Another one could be some bad people around Zelensky could orchestrate a situation where Zelensky's helicopter or airplane has a malfunction, just falls down, or is shut down in a friendly fire. Could be that Mr. Zelensky will have some stomach ache one morning and he's going to be vomiting blood, and then unfortunately he's going to die of natural causes. Or he's going to have a heart attack or a stroke, or he's going to be hit by something. You understand all that? That could be another way. Another way could be Zelensky saying, you know what, guys, because I see that you guys are all bad and I'm good and perfect, I decided to resign. That's it, man. And deal with it. This is exactly what, if you remember that movie, The Downfall, portraying Adolf in his bunker, I think the last 24 hours or 48 hours over there, when he has this conversation with the guys with 4 generals in front of him, 3 or 4, I can't remember, I think there were 4, and then it was Bormann and Goebbels in the room, in the bunker. He says, I told Steinmeier to attack. And this guy says Steinmeier could not, and he has that little breakdown, and down, blah, 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 and he said, you know what, he said, all of you do what you want. I can't, it stays like this, I can't lead like this. Do what you think. So I think Zelensky could do the same thing, but in a different way. I mean, superior way, obviously, perfect way, more moral, because they're more all moral than you and I. And say, you know what, screw you, man, I'm taking my money and go. And he's allowed to go for a while and live peacefully somewhere, with the money that he earned through hard work. The other one could be the same. I'm leaving, but I'm staying in Ukraine and try to be a politician, continue to be a politician. These are the only options I see, as baboon as I am. But you can say, well, are the Europeans over there? The Europeans will support them. The Europeans are at United States' button. Bzz, or bzz. Green button or the red button. Which one you want? So the Europeans, if Trump is in charge of the United States of America and says, no, the Europeans are done. The Europeans were not there to do anything. So the Europeans cannot support him. Now, Zelensky Stein's group, I'm talking about, they will not support him. Why? Because it's about money. You don't give us money, you didn't win against the Russians, the big fish is still fishing in the ocean. What are we going to do? Change course, change, adjust. The idiotic way is to continue in something that you see is not working. For some is working, but they want more. They make money. The banking system is making money. The military-industrial complex is making money. The energy industry is making money. These are the 3 pillars I see. They're making money, but there's not a goal with Ukraine. The goal is to take Russia much more money over there. So they can't stay in this period because other people are losing money, other actors behind the scenes. So there's a fight out there between the 3 guys and then the other guys. So they will adjust. For the military-industrial complex, don't worry, they already solved the problem. Europe needs to arm like never before because of the boogeyman in the Kremlin. Got that? So it doesn't have to be war, send weapons to Ukraine. We're gonna feed the fat fucks with commands, orders, whatever, from the European imbeciles. So you and I will pay for this. Got that? So they cover that. Now the reconstruction of Ukraine could be arranged with Putin. And then American companies can come and help. I guarantee you that. And then the energy, unfortunately, they lose because the Russians will have to enter the market. And that is the main reason why I think the war will be ending. Why? Because wars are most of the time started due to economic reason, financial reasons. I want your resources. I want something to use. I mean, or whatever. I need something from you. It's not about Oh, you are wrong, you don't have a democracy. These are for baboons. We're not baboons, we ain't baboons here. All right? The bottom feeders can think that way, we don't. It's always about, I want something material from you, your country, your territory. Why? There's some resources over there, some value in that. And who wants that? The economic interest, the banking interest, the financial interest. That's what they want. So when those guys, that was the whole point with Russia and with China, financial interest, go to Siberia and suck dry their resources. I'm just exaggerating. You're not going to the Caucasus in the same way. So let me show you another article here, and I will end with this. Why I think the Zelensky is going to have to say yes, plunder our country, even though the guys, the nationalists, so-called, which I don't call them nationalists, I call them different, the nationalists. They could take care of Zelensky, and that's why they'll take care in a bad way when he comes back to Ukraine. And they are on someone's payroll as well, just so you know. Here, again, from the evil Russians, from 1st of March, German factories counting on return of Russian gas. And this comes from Bloomberg. Bloomberg, not from the, this is just, they took it and just throw it on their audience. German factories counting on return of Russian gas. What does that mean? That means that they already know something, it's in the work. As rising energy costs pressure EU economies, industrial leaders, that's how you have to refer to these profiteers, are reportedly advocating for resuming imports if peace in Ukraine conflict is achieved. So if it's not, they're screwed in Europe. If the peace is achieved, then they're excellent doing, the industrial leaders. Key German industrial leaders have expressed their desire to see Russian gas return to Europe once a resolution to the Ukraine conflict is found. Right there, Bloomberg has reported. Chemical and manufacturing sector representatives argue that affordable energy is crucial to German economy to recover. From what? From your imbecilic sanctions, the agency wrote on Friday. European gas prices surged after the Ukraine conflict escalated in 2022. Pipeline gas imports from Russia mostly ceased due to sanctions and the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines in 2022. Nevertheless, EU nations have still been buying record volumes of Russian liquefied natural gas, the cost of which has already quadrupled, that's 4 times, in 3 years, according to Eurostat. Understand? In 2021, Russian pipeline gas accounted for 32%, that's the cheapest, of the total demand of the European Union and UK, while Germany relied on Russian gas for 55% of its consumption. Now, you do it now 4 times and see how much that is, according to the European Council of Statista. So, since cutting ties with Russia energy, the EU has turned to expensive LNG imports, primarily for the United States. The United States made these baboons sanction themselves so they can infect and invest in the market, flood the market of the Europeans with premium prices. That is how capitalism, American way, works. We can't compete with you, we're going to ban you. Therefore, we're going to win. The shift has driven natural gas prices on the continent to their highest levels in 2 years, prompting discussions, blah, 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 blah. My point is this. The economic leaders, how is that? The way, like, no, it was not economic. The industrial, in the industry. The industrial leaders who remember with their money they can help people get elected or not elected, they decided that enough is enough, we're losing and we're going to go bankrupt, and the guys from across the ocean will win. So they will put pressure on them, or them baboons. The problem is, how will they deal with the Americans? Well, the Americans give the sign that they want to sign a peace agreement, stop the war. So all these guys are all for it because they hope that when that happens, the Americans will allow them, through their own politicians, to buy again cheap energy from the Russians so they can compete again on the market. Easy peasy. So Zelensky will go. I don't know exactly yet how he can go with his money. I suspect that he's going to go if he's going to return to Ukraine. He's going to go over there and he's going to get his money and retire. Otherwise, they will have a lot of people in front of him and behind him with guns. And that's not good for him. I think he should take his loot and get back out with other rats that will just abandon ship, like Yermak, like Umerov, like, what's his name, Zmihal. Zmihal, I think, will land a job, I'm waiting, in the International Monetary Fund or in the World Bank. That's where Zmihal will land. He will not be pop or anything, no. Maybe he's going to still remain in politics. And maybe Zaluzny is going to come back and he's going to be agreed to, like being the guy in charge. Why? Putin referred to Zaluzny as Mr. Zaluzny in one of his interviews with like 3 days ago or so. So that means Putin is for Zaluzny. I think Zaluzny, in my assessment, was the most normal guy in Ukraine. I think Syrskyi to a certain extent, but Syrskyi is Russian. Zaluzny is really Ukrainian, unlike the... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.